Hey everybody, I'm Brian.
Hello everybody, this is Joe G.
Hey, I'm Shannon.
Hi, I'm Ron.
Hey, this is Steve.
Oh, and we can't forget about Marcel.
Oh, hey.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Back on Track. On tonight's stream, we've got our usual Steve, we've got Brian, and we've got cousin Vinny as our guest today. Good morning, Vinny. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
I'm fantastic. It's great to have you here, cuz. Good to see you this morning.
I appreciate you guys inviting me.
Welcome.
Well, we've been excited to have you. For the last 3 weeks, we've been kind of building up to the finale of talking about scratch building. And in our community, you are pretty much the scratch builder, you know, the one people go to for help and advice. So it's great of you to come on. Guys, we've got a lot of great things we're going to talk about. If you are someone who's fairly new, that's wanting to, or older and wanting to get into scratch building, this is going to be a great episode for you because Cousin Vinny's got a lot of suggestions. He's going to give us a lot of help today.
One is going to help me a lot.
That's for sure.
So I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to be here, and I will do my best to transmit any information that I have.
No, that'll be good to hear from you, Vinny. In saying that, I'm just looking over the chat. We better say hi to the guys over in chat. Brian, do you want to take that?
I can if you like. We want to welcome everybody here to the show today and let y'all know we appreciate you being here. First and foremost, at the top of the list, we have Marcel Velour or Cloverdale Rail, and it's a pleasure to have him here with us today. He's got a lot going on, and it's great to have him here. We got Nora here. Jake, good to see you. We got Cowboy Valley and Timberline Junction Railroad. That's our Claude, everybody. We have Everybody Knows our Sparky with the Wrench, 107, 107. And Dale PRR Guy Bass in the house as well. I saw that Gary Corbin is here. And I'm scrolling down. There's John of Schuylkill River Valley as well. Good morning, John. Dwight Curley in the house. Good morning, Dwight. And everybody loves Uncle Wilmer. Uncle Wilmer's in the house chatting hard as well. Yeah, great to have you. Wilmer Dunk in the house. Good to see you, Dunk. There's Marty. Marty, good to see you this morning. And let me see. I don't want to miss anybody if I can help it.
We got
Norman Riley. There's Norman. And if y'all see the Art, hey Art, there's Gary, Barn Full of Trains. And Fred Wild is here as well. Golly, Hastings is in the house. Hastings B&F N-Scale Modeler. Good to see you this morning. And Leslie Gilpin's here. Hey, Leslie, CDP 1965. There's Chuck. Goodness gracious, we got everybody here. N-Scale, wow. Is it Cajon Subdivision? That's Steve, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And Doug Billy here as well. And then there's Crazy Joe. I think that's Joelle, if I'm not mistaken. She might have changed her name.
Yeah, it is. It's Joelle.
Oh, good to see you, Joelle. Good morning.
There we go.
Take it back to you, Shannon.
Now, in saying that, just one thing I need to add to that. If you look underneath Vinny and Brian, you'll see the shows and series that happens during the week and all weekends. I do need to talk to Brian to update it because I know it's a little bit out of date, so I'll get that sorted hopefully today or tomorrow. I've kind of ran out of time during the week, especially with how busy we've been. But yeah, so any of you guys got any questions to ask Vinny?
Yeah, how do you start scratch building if you don't have anything? Like, I don't have any buildings here. I've got some plans. I don't want to spend a ton of money, but I'm going to eventually have to build some buildings. What's the best way to even start? I know where I've got the tracks. I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to even start the building. So
this explanation from start to finish is probably going to take more than this hour.
Go ahead, brother. We're listening. We're listening.
Right. The first and most important thing to remember is there's 3 important tools that you have with you all the time. I don't care if you're in the shower, if you're out on a date or whatever in the grocery store. You have these tools with you all the time, and those tools are your eyes, your brain,
Okay.
and your hands,
Okay.
and they all have to work together. Now, you're going to need some really basic tools to get started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt my camera down to my workbench so you guys can see this, and I don't have to hold them all. So hang on a second. Let me get down there.
That's right. I'll Sam, I can make your screen a little bit bigger, Vinny. There we go.
That's good right where it's at. Are you guys having any problem with my audio?
No, your audio is fine.
Okay, because I was having problems last night on my live stream, and I don't know what it was. And I think I fixed it this morning, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We asked Sparky not to bring the gremlins this morning.
It's funny that we both had problems this week. All right, first thing you're going to need are these guys. Okay, use these for cutting and use this for, this is a scale rule. Okay, this rule has 4 different scales on it. It's got HO, it's got N scale, it's got 1/24th scale, and that's all of them. HO, 1/24th scale, O scale, and N scale. And it also has a metric thing and also an American measurement. It's very important to have this. If you're going to build something that you've seen on the street, you need to figure out its sizes. Cool. Very good. So you're off to a good start. All right, the next thing, like I said, you need to have a couple of these, and I have bigger ones also. I have ones that's 18-inch, and I have ones that are 36-inch, because I buy my plastic in big sheets, and it's a lot more cost efficient to buy it in big sheets, and I'll show you that as we continue on. You'll need a hobby knife. Excel and X-Acto make hobby knives. Okay, and this one happens to have a cover on it, and that's a number 11 blade, and that's the most common blade. You'll need a second hobby knife with a chisel blade on it. Of course, if you have rulers and measuring devices, you're going to need a pencil. So I use a mechanical pencil. The pencil is up to you, whatever you feel like using. Let's see. You may have the opportunity to use one of these. It's called a pin vise. And you can get different drill bits, and Dremel happens to sell a kit just like that. Of course, there's some of these out that are on my layout. Possibly a small file set, and a pair of scissors, and various tweezers. This one here is cool because it opens and it snaps closed, so you can see I use this the whole parts when I paint it.
Yeah.
But then I have this one here, which is a flat tip on there, and these ones here that are curved, and these ones here that are pointy. And one more thing for the beginner: a square. Very, very important to have a square. Various clamps, and I just bought a bunch of these because you can never have too many clamps. But I bought this at Harbor Freight. It was like $5, and I ordered this off of Amazon, which was $10, I think. But clamps always good to have.
You know, I've got everything, almost everything, except for the square. The square was a great idea, Vinny.
No, you have to have the square. And when
I've got my big carpenter squares, but nothing small like that. But
Same
you
here,
mentioned the
too.
clamp.
this was a gift from one of my longtime friends. It's called a Hobby and Craft Square, is what the name is, and it's Midwest Products Company. That's who makes this. And it's pretty cool because it's got all these holes in it too, so you can measure diameters of stuff that if you need to measure some diameters of stuff.
Wow.
Now, Vinny, I know this wouldn't be for the beginner, but I would like to know a little bit about your little magnetic block square thing.
We will get to that. We will get to that.
Okay, great.
Okay. And finally, for the beginner, you should have one of these, a little miter. And the set that I bought has the main blade, and it also has 3 additional blades to do whatever you need. It's got 1 coarse teeth and 1 fine teeth and a medium teeth here. So those are what you would need. Oh, you got one of those too. All right, so you're on your way there, Steve.
Actually, I've got 2. This was my dad's. This is probably as old as I am. So
but you know what?
I've got 2 of those.
That just saved you $20.
Is that okay? It's been used so much. It's almost
If you have the sauce to go with it.
Oh, I've got them.
And what I like about this one is like with this one here, if I can undo this right here and I could change this blade out in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
I got 4 out of 10 so far.
I got most of them.
All right.
You know, you can make clamps with. I don't know if anybody's used clothespins to make clamps.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great idea, Steve.
Yep. It sure is.
It's very simple. You actually just pull them apart and reverse.
Oh, you changed
Put the
it.
string on the outside so it clamps down.
Yeah, and then you go like this, and it's very light. You know, it comes with
wow.
Cool. Very cool.
And, I mean,
You see that? Even the old dog can learn new tricks.
Man, that's an awesome idea, Steve.
I got a whole bucket of them.
Wow. All right.
I had to do it. The only thing I've scratch built on this thing so far was this bridge pier, and those clamps worked really lightly to just kind of hold stuff on. So
Yeah, well, that's an awesome idea. Really cool idea. All right.
And
So,
they're
you guys
not-
have any questions so far?
I did get one question come through that Sparky has sent through to us on the messenger so we can actually keep up what's going on. Norman Rowe asked, "Hey Vinny, who online is the best selection and prices for scratch building materials, supplies, and tools?" Which I think you might have mentioned already.
Well, the tools you can get in various places. You can get the tools in Amazon. You get the tools at Micromark. Local, like a Harbor Freight. You can get all kinds of stuff different places. Material. I usually get my material via online, one of the hobby shops, especially Yankee Dabbler. I call them up, I tell them what I need, and a couple of days later I have it at my house. But there's also alternatives to that. Now, do you want me to get into the materials, or do you want me to finish up with the tools?
Tools.
Go ahead with the tools.
Yeah, kick on tools.
Okay. So now, when you're going to be cutting a bunch of parts that are the same size, I recommend you get one of these. It's called Chopper.
I need one of those.
Yes, and this is very, very awesome tool because this right here, it's got 4 different angles on it. It's got a 90, a 60, a 45, and a 30. So you can just place it on here, and you could move this from one side to the other side, whatever you feel comfortable with. I feel comfortable doing it this way. You can stick your ruler. Let me show you, give you an idea right here. If you want something that's maybe 10 millimeters, or let's say 20 millimeters, so you guys can see that. You take this, you set that at 20 millimeters right there. You take this guy, put him right up against your ruler, and then lock it down. Now this one here, I have probably 10 years already, so it's pretty worn out. But now you're ready to cut a bunch of parts that are 20 millimeters long. And they will all come out perfectly the same size.
That's nice. Are those very expensive, Vinny?
I think this is about maybe $30.
That's what I was thinking.
Not bad.
And I think they also have one that's longer, which is a lot better. And like I said, I got this one for a really, really long time. But they have one that's actually longer, and it's got more of these different holes, so you can place your cutting device wherever you need to have it cut. Excellent tool for you guys to have.
It must be pretty durable if you've had it that long.
Well, yeah. What happens basically is this screw right here, it gets loose on me, and then this starts to wobble. So I need to make sure that this is always tight, so I get a clean, a good, clean, straight cut. Also, these are single edge razors in here, so you can get those at dollar store. Get 100 of them for like $1 or whatever. They will break.
Wow.
And you also need to be really careful when you use this because that blade will bite you as soon as it gets long. Okay?
Ooh.
I don't
Yeah,
doubt
I
it.
think I've had those blades bite me a few times, being a mechanic, cutting
Yeah.
boxes open and
Yeah.
rubber hoses, you name it.
Yep. All right.
Me too.
Now this is a Posey product, and you can get this on Micromark. What it does is magnetic corner pieces. Pull it apart. You put your plastic in there. You put this together. You lock it down, and it gives you a space in here where you can actually put your glue down the corner.
Wow.
Very, very cool, and very helpful tool. But the tool I like the best is what Brian was just talking about a few minutes ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that's this guy.
Woo.
Now this guy here, I have up until 6 months ago, I've never used this to make my building square. I've always used a bunch of triangles taped down, or I use my cutting pad because it's got all these different angles and stuff on there. But when I started using this, I could not believe the difference it made when I started putting projects together. These magnets are really, really strong. And what you'll do is you'll put your plastic one piece here, and you put a magnet up there against it to hold it. You put your other piece right there, and you take another magnet and put it right there. And it holds it perfectly square because the corners are square. And also on this one, if you have a piece that's longer, they have a slit down here on the end. So you actually could put your plastic right through there and have a longer piece of plastic and still be able to build what you want to build. This tool is invaluable, I have found. And this was a gift from Roy Hardwick. He gave me this probably a year ago. It's been sitting on my side bench over there for a long time. But this is a very, very helpful tool. And I don't know what the cost is. It's probably be up around $30. But if you can afford the $30, definitely go for this.
That seems great.
That's a great idea.
Another way to keep your stuff square is with these guys. Or if you need to have weight to keep something from warping. These are called 1, 2, 3 machinist blocks. And I noticed when I got these, there's actually threads in there. And you could actually thread a rod in there, like what do they call all rod? One of those all rods. You could screw it right into there, and you could put two of these together like that. So it's pretty cool. But I use these basically to weight things down if I need to weight something down. Because the metal tray is all I need to keep stuff square. I mean, I found that out right after I started using that. The last project I did, I could not believe how square my corners came out, how clean they came out. I didn't even have to put trim on them. That's how clean the corners came out. All right. And the last of tools right now, and these are tools that I use all the time. There's probably a bunch more tools that you can get to help you out in the hobby. These here, sanding sticks.
Wow.
Very,
Sanding
very
sticks.
helpful. Sanding sticks.
I
They
didn't
have
find me
diff-
some of those.
Different coarse sandpaper in there.
Oh.
It starts, it gives you a chart here. Let's see. Where did I see that?
I can see Brian straight onto the phone, straight on eBay.
Yeah, it tells you here. It tells you the different colors on here, and it tells you what grade they are, so you can't go wrong. And then they give you a bunch of extra pieces right here.
Oh, sweet.
So, and this is good when you want to get into like tight spaces. I will show you, if it's okay with you guys, I will show you my last project that I did.
Yes, sir.
So you can, so I can show everybody how well all these tools work together.
I think at the end of the show, there's going to be a mad sale on those corner sanders on eBay.
You're right.
Well,
And
I would-
www.standingsticks.
a lot of people are going to have Uncle Wilmer's bug of scratch building too.
And you know what? I got him into that because he
I
called me.
know this, Ben.
And he showed me the foam board that he was using actually warped. And he asked me about styrene. I said, well, yeah, styrene would be good. So he asked me what thickness he should get and this and that. And he got back to me. He said he loves it. He's going to be doing scratch builds like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm. That's all we've been talking about.
So that was pretty cool. Okay, so that's as far as I'm concerned. Those are the tools that I use when I do a scratch build. Like I said, there might be other tools out there that might make the job easier. I am used to this stuff right now, and I know how to put it together. I know how to do it and all that kind of stuff. So I stick with what I know. All right, so now we will get into I guess adhesives. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm kind of trying to multitask. Yeah.
That's fine.
I've got a lot of things to do and a child to look after in the morning.
There you go. There you go.
No worries.
This is my go-to cement for styrene. I've been using this for probably 5 or 6 years, and I've had no failures with this. I mean, it stays together. I have buildings on my layout that I started building when I lived in it, when I bought this house in 2013, and there's no problem. They're still hanging together. They're not falling apart. The glue don't dry out or anything like that. So this is what I recommend.
Repeat the
What kind
name
of
of
glue is
that.
that?
Say again?
Repeat the name on that.
It's Model
Yeah.
Masters liquid cement for plastic models.
All right.
Now, if I need to, if I have a piece of plastic that I want to make sure that never comes apart, Mr. Gorilla Glue. Okay, and this is pretty cool. I like the idea of what they did with this, but this actually has a brush on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought that was the coolest thing that they did. Plus, you can take the top half of the cap off and use it as an applicator like that.
Wow. That's
Nice.
cool.
So I use the brush part because it brings up a lot of glue all at one time, and I can control how much I have to put somewhere.
Yeah, I'll get those micro brushes from eBay. I'll get like a pack of, what is it?
Oh, that's another thing I forgot too. I have a bunch of micro brushes I did not show you guys, but I have a bunch of micro brushes, which is also handy to use when you want to apply glue to certain places.
Yeah, or for painting. They're very good for painting as well, like very small details if you shape them the right way. I found.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know how these people can paint an N-scale figure. I mean, Tony, Redbird Tony, he's painting N-scale figures. And I tell you what, man, I mean, I've been working on N-scale for a long time, and I don't think I could ever do what he's doing.
Oh, you
No
think
way.
if you're thinking that, Vinny, for any of those who are familiar, like I think it was something my generation did. If any of you guys know what Warhammer is, the places where they sold the Warhammer figurines and whatnot, I remember going into a shop, seeing the paintbrush, and the paintbrush had 4 hairs on it. 4 hairs.
Yeah, yep.
And I'm looking
I-
at and I'm looking at it like, why would you need a paintbrush with just 4 hairs? So I asked one of my mates, it's like, so you can paint the eyes, put like little scratches and paint things on their hands. And I'm like, the thing's an inch tall.
In scale, people don't have eyeballs. They're a half inch tall. Isn't that right? In scale, people are a half inch tall, right?
You know what? I never really looked, and I really don't care because when you put it on your layout, especially on an N-scale layout, you're not going to see it anyhow. And that's one thing that most me. That's one thing when these guys do these reviews on rail cars, and they say, "Look at all this underbody detail. Oh, it got all the brake lines and the air hoses." You put it on the track, you're never going to see that stuff.
Yeah, actually, it would be Minute Bowl would be a half inch tall. That's like 7.5 feet, so it's less than a half inch.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, just to interrupt everyone quickly, for all of those on the chat that is going on about that big loud crash that just happened before, in short, that's what happens when you drop about $300 worth of equipment.
Oh,
no.
And somehow it all survived.
very nice.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys decide now, there are two companies that I would use for my materials. One is Evergreen and one is Plastruct. Now, Evergreen is strictly styrene. They have no ABS whatsoever, but Plastruct does. And in order for you to cement Plastruct and ABS structure together, you need to get this stuff. It's made by Plastruct, and what it does, it actually melts the plastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah,
so-
I know Humbrol has a similar glue, which works on their Humbrol plastics.
Any glue that has MEK or MKE, MEK, I think it is. We'll do the same thing. We'll work on ABS.
Methyl ethyl ketone.
There you go.
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Actually, another good glue that I use is how do you pronounce it? Croissant. Oh, what is it? Something acryl acetate or something. I've forgotten the name.
CA cement. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yes. Well, that's basically the Gorilla Glue. Is they call it a super glue, but it's a CA. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Guys,
use that
know
religiously.
when you do windows and stuff, and you use the regular plastic glue, that it will smear and smudge up your window, your clear plastic and stuff. So, Model Masters has this glue. It's called Crystal Clear. And you can actually make a window with this. But I use it to glue my acetate into the back of the building, so it, when it dries, it's totally clear. So even if I get a little bit on the acetate clear plastic, you won't see it. So this is very good, especially with a person like me where I don't have really a steady hand to put where I need to put it. I use this for my windows.
Okay.
And,
So how do you make the windows, Vin?
huh?
How do you make the windows?
You have to use this layer by layer. It's an applicator like that, and what you do is you just go inside your window holes and you just put this across the window hole. You let it dry. You do a second coat. You let it dry. You do it until you fill up the whole window hole. And when it dries clear.
Okay.
That's cool. That's a cool, cool adhesive right there.
That's
The last adhesive I'm going to tell you guys about today is this scenic accessory glue. And what this is good for is if you're going to put some details like I did on the last project I did, I used this glue. The reason I use this glue is because you can always take it up. So let's say you take a figure and you put it on a platform and 2 months from now you don't like where that figure is, you could pick him up and move him over and put him someplace else. And it does not leave a smear or a smudge or anything like that.
nice.
And what was that called again?
It won't what?
Accessory glue.
What was that called again?
It's called Scenic Accent Glue. So let's see what else we got here. All right. We have all the tools and glues and tools and all that kind of stuff. I guess now it's time to tell you guys about what kind of material to use.
Okay,
Yay.
before we do jump into that, Vinny, it is half an hour into the broadcast, so this is usually where we do our intermission video, which Brian has sent to me this morning. Which
And it's about cuz.
sorry,
It's all about cuz.
yeah, it's all about cousin Vinny.
Oh,
Okay, so
Yeah.
what we'll do is before you jump into that subject, we'll play that video, and
Sounds good.
yeah. So in saying that, don't forget to mute your mics, guys, because I know the software's a bit iffy with that. And yeah, I'll play the video, and then when we get back, we'll talk about what's going on with the giveaway, and all that other. All you guys understand. You know where we're going with this. Anyway,
Scratch build materials.
yeah. All right, I'll play that now. So give us 2 seconds.
Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions video featuring Vinny Built Structures. Hi, my name is Vinny. I am your host, but I'm also known as BNSF 6951. And then I'm also known as Cousin Vinny. The content you'll see here will be on scratch builds, kit builds, and some kit bashing on model railroad structures. And then I can put my window in, and as you can see, there's no more gaps around there. What I'm also going to do is I am also going to put trim around there, so it kind of cleans up the little mess that I made. But other than that, I think this is going to work out really well. Always a way to fix something, guys. You just got to think about it. That's why I tell you that it's not only your brain, but it's your eyes and all your senses that tell you if it's right or wrong. Sure it was still good. Let me turn this around and look at it. Magnets are so strong. All right, side of the platform, because there is a gap between the two buildings, so I want to put a piece of safety railing there. And here on the front, I'm going to put a set of stairs and handrails for that also. So, with all that being said, I think the next move we're going to do is be doing the roof, and I will show you how I'm going to be doing that. Oh, and by the way, for the overhead doors, I'm going to be using this number 244. If I can get it in the frame. Number 244. Better. Half round. And those would be mounted on the outside of the buildings. All right, guys, so now you see how I've done that. And the reason for the grooves is so when you lay your glue down, it doesn't go on the part of the plastic that you don't want it to be on. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these ones out and do this up, and I'll trim everything down, and I'll show you what this is going to look like. I will put it on the building and then put the ridge piece in there. And that'll hold the roof in its particular position that I want it to be in. But anyhow, that being said, stay tuned. We'll be back shortly. The people door and the window didn't come out too shabby. And then when I showed you guys at the very beginning how I screwed it up. Anyhow, I think the people door there. And this is the truck loading side. Now, this is not prototypical at all. But I had a little extra room, and I thought maybe that I would just go ahead and throw that in there. I think it looks pretty good, and I made sure that at least the trailer is able to park on the foundation. I don't care, the semis could pull the tractors back here and park or whatever. Now, the most important side of this whole build, and that is trackside. Yes, sir. And as you can see, I've got the doors on the cars lined up perfectly with the building. I also have this door partially open, and this door will be fully open as well as the one, as well as the ones on the truck siding door. Those will all be open doors. And that's why I say I might want to put a floor in this one, just to show that off. The foundation is painted, but I still need to do some weathering to it. Now I am done with this model. I need to see if I can get some sort of a sealer. And I also need to redo some of the foundation pieces because that 99-cent tape from Walmart just doesn't work. Anyhow, this is the build. I hope you guys enjoyed this build. It was fun for me to do. It was long needed to be done. And I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the video. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, and shares always welcome. Thanks for watching. As always, we'll talk to you later. BNSF 6951 and Cousin Vinny out for now.
And we're back.
All right. Well.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, first things first. Now, just having a look at the viewer count. Currently, it looks like we have 34 viewers. on chat right now, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if you guys remember, we do have a giveaway. I'm giving away this N-scale locomotive. It's a RSC-2, undecorated, DCC fitted with a Digitrax decoder. You know, fully operational, tested. I know a couple of the other guys are giving away HO stuff. I cannot remember who's doing that with the HO side of things, but I'll have to figure it out.
I think Simon said he was going to put something out.
Yeah, Simon. Yeah, that's right. Simon keeps rubbing into me. It's like, oh, I'll add an extra thing. I'll put a boxcar in. I'll put this in. I'll put that in. So that's still gonna go. That's still going ahead for the minute. So we'll have this going. In regards to trolling boxcar, at the moment we haven't been able to get a hold of Joe G at the minute to figure out where he's at. So as much as we'd like to get that up and running for 2020, it is on hold for the minute. I might have to take matters into my own hands if possible, but that might take me a month at most. So, but that all depends if we can get a hold of Joe G or not. Was there anything you wanted to add, Brian?
No, we're at 35 now, and we look forward to hitting 50 one day. And when we do, we're going to give a loco away. And I just want to say
after that.
The first half of the show was fantastic, and I've learned more in 30 minutes than I normally can in about a week. So thank you, Tim, for what you're doing. And I am anxious, actually, not to rush us through this, but if we have covered everything, I want to hear about these materials that he uses as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I forgot to mention, or maybe I did mention, but all the stuff that I am showing you, all the tools that I am showing you here, could be on either on Amazon or Micromart, and I might have some of them on my own Amazon page that you guys might want to check out. Don't ask me what the address is for my Amazon page because I don't remember, but I know I have some of this stuff on my Amazon page, and if you buy from them, it depends on how much you buy and stuff like that. I might get a little kickback from them, so just a little heads up on that.
Well, how do you get to the link, Vinny?
Huh?
How do you get to the link for your Amazon page? Where's it at?
It would be, I think,
in your about section on your page.
BNSS 6950 on Amazon.com. BNSS 6951. I think that's what it is. I have not used it in such a long time. I really don't remember. Ralph is good at that. Ralph always posts it for me on my live streams, but I just don't remember what it is. Also, another thing that I didn't mention earlier, as far as tools go, is one of these guys, a digital caliper.
Oh,
this is a cheapie. I got this for like $7 off of Amazon, but it works fine. And the reason I got this is to measure the thickness of materials. Okay, now you can get materials several different places. When I first started scratch builds, I was walking down one of the aisles in Home Depot, and I saw this thing that said for sale signs. So I looked at it, and they were pretty flimsy like this. Okay, this is 0.3 millimeters thick, and I think the for sale signs were actually even a little bit thinner than that. And I would use those. I actually did those using that as scratch builds because I wasn't able to afford good plastic, so I was using those as a stand-in. And they work just fine. But I do not recommend doing this flimsy stuff to do a structure because eventually it's just gonna fall apart. Okay. So also in the for sale sign section, you get this guy. And this guy here is considerably thicker, and I will measure it right now, and I'll tell you what it is. This guy is 1.2 millimeters thick, which is a good thickness to do a scratch build. Because when you start cutting this up, the smaller you make the pieces, the stronger it gets. I prefer to use this. This is an evergreen product, and it is 12 inches across this way and 24 inches this way. Now, this is just a plain sheet. They do make these sheets in different type of like metal siding, clapboard. There's just a whole bunch. You have to go to evergreen.com and just look and see all the stuff that they have. They have I-beams, they have L pieces, angle pieces, pipes, rods, angles. I got a bunch of stuff over there. I don't even remember all the stuff that I have. But if you're going to build something and you want it to look realistic, then you actually need to get into their website or Plastruck. Plastruck makes the same stuff, except Plastruck also makes roof trusses that I use occasionally. When I did the build for Tony, for Redbird Tony, I used the roof trusses there, and I used the roof trusses in Gary Weiss's build. So you just have to look around. The first thing I would suggest for you guys is to build a square. Just go to Home Depot and pick up a piece of that cheap stuff. It's like 99 cents or $1.99 and you get a sheet. You know, you've seen those for sale signs. Mm-hmm. Maybe 12 inches wide by 8 inches. You can do a small building out of that, and that's what I would suggest.
I just noticed Roy Hardwick, from Container 68. He was putting out that the micro gluing jig is available from Micromark.
Yeah, I said that.
It's $29.95, which is not bad.
Yeah, I said it was about $30, and I also said you could probably get it at Micromark. And and I'll tell you one thing about what I found out with Amazon is you go look at a product that you want and you click on that, and then all of a sudden down at the bottom of the page you got a bunch more of the same item. So you really have to search to get the same item for cheaper money. I'm not a cheap person. I just frugal. I like to get stuff on a deal, and that's the way I am. So I think that I have gotten all of my stuff that you guys need to know to do a scratch build.
Yeah.
Move this up here.
I'm wondering how many people out there scratch build locomotives, because I know Shannon does, and I think he's gone. But that's kind of scratch building too, is locomotives. There you go, Shannon. Oh,
and there's the fifth person.
Yeah, we got 5 in here. Whereby says we have to pay money to do that.
And now you need to get your little girl in there, Brian.
Yeah, no, I don't have her yet. But Benny, did you say you were going to show us Sans Plumbing?
Oh yeah, if you want to, I can show you.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see.
Hang on, I gotta get it and put it on the table here and figure out how.
And then we could take some questions after that, maybe from the audience.
Yeah, definitely.
The studio audience.
Just give me a minute, clean this stuff up.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Look, Mum, I'm on TV.
I swear to God, if you wake him up.
Hey.
He's already awake. He was standing.
I swear, awake.
He's awake.
What's his name, Shane?
Andreas.
Cool.
Yeah, Andreas Dominic.
Very cool name.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you actually look up, if you actually look up the name meaning, it actually works very well. Being, I'm a Catholic and my wife's a Christian. The name actually Andreas translates to strong man, and Dominic translates to man of God. So coincidentally, I managed to name my son the strong man of God.
Look at that, Shannon. Can we get that on the big screen? That model?
I can. I work in my magic. It will take me.
It kind of looks like on my end you already got it that way, at least.
Oh yeah, I do, but I can go one better. Go, bop.
It's beautiful, man. Dang.
There we go.
That looks like you're looking down from a helicopter.
Well, I wanted to mess around with the other cameras to see if I can get a side view, but I didn't see the option until I just got onto the regular screen right here, and up at the top there's 3 little dots, and I clicked on that earlier, and it says switch camera. but I don't want to take a chance in doing that right now. With all the luck I've been having with my cameras and equipment. So we'll keep it like this. Now this here is street side. And I did the little electrical boxes in there. You know what? I can do that. Is that better?
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, so this here is street side, and most of the streets in this area are named after presidents. I think this is Monroe Street. I'm not 100% sure. And right here, let's see if I can move this over a bit. Right here is the main street, which is North 19th Avenue. This is Sand Plumbing. It is a prototypical building in the downtown area of Phoenix. And since I was modeling that area, I decided that this would be a good project for me to do. Now, I had done this building previously, and let me show you the difference between this plastic and the for sale signs. Hold on a second.
Looks good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think I was crazy enough to make a stencil out of masking tape to do those railroad crossing signs on my roads?
As you can see there, that's a for sale sign in there.
Yep.
Okay.
This whole building was done in a for sale sign, but it is really, really flimsy. And so I had only as a mock-up, and I knew that eventually in the future that I would be doing a rebuild on this. And since I've been working on my layout as much as I have been, I thought, well, this would be a good time to go ahead and do this. So anyhow, like you see over here, I got some ground cover, some telephone pole or utility poles. I got yelled at for being called telephone poles because there are no telephones on there.
Actually, here in Australia, there still is. We get internet.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Because a few weeks ago, I had the neighbor, a tree branch fell down on their power pole, took out their power, their NBN, and telephone. So all they had was mobile, and I had to run my extension lead from one of my power points outside over the fence so they could power the fridge.
Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah.
I still call them telephone.
So from this street, that's Monroe Street,
Wow.
we have an entrance right here. That there'll be employee parking. This would be the office right here. This building was the first building that they had, and eventually they got big enough to have a second building. Now, I don't know how long ago this happened, but the city of Phoenix or BNSF decided that they were not going to give this industry and the next industry next door to this industry any more rail service. So there is no rail service that comes to these buildings today, but on my layout, it does.
I got you.
So that's that, and I'm not going to argue anything about that. So anyhow, this is the backside. You got employee parking there. You got parking for the semis over there. You got a little truck here, and people doors, and so on and so forth. And let's see if I can turn this around a little further. I also did the billboard.
That looks great.
Now they don't. This is not prototypical either. They do not have semi-service trucks in here. They just have that one truck in the back. But I had the room, and I said, you know what? I want to dress this up just a little bit more, so I put this in here. Their entrance will be off the main street here, and it will go across the track to get into here. And then there's more industries alongside here. This would be, oops, come on. This would be trackside. And the buildings are offset the way you see them. The older building is right up against the track. The newer building has a platform. And basically, the details I put on here, these are really not supposed to be on an angle like that, but I didn't want to take the time to build a little frame to put them up, stand them up straight and all that. So I just said, you know what? First of all, this building is going to be 3.5 to 4 feet away from your eyes. And so you're probably not going to see all the detail that I already put in here. But I know it's there, and people that have good eyes will see all the detail that I put in here. So basically, that's it for the sand plumbing. I mean, I added some details on the platform, some pallets, some boxes, a couple of barrels, so on and so forth. I added a couple of semis back there. So I had already put this on the layout, but I wanted to take it off just for this show. I wanted to take it back off the layout. And I tell you what, it's a stretch because I have to stand up on a step stool and hold it until I get it over because it has to go across my yard.
Oh yeah.
And I got 100 cars parked in my yard, and I hit one, they'll all go over. So I have to lift that, make it high enough, and then set it down and slide it off the wood that I have it on. But I like the way it came out. I've gotten really a lot of good comments on it. So
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, Vinny.
Well, Vinny, you did a fantastic job weathering the roof for sure. That looked incredible up
yeah,
there.
and that was just
Story.
my first practice with my airbrush. That was my first practice.
And you got a great story about where the both they come together and the rust pools up in that one area in that video where you tell your story about how that happened.
You like that, huh?
Yeah, that was a great thought right there. I mean, it was really and your story matches perfect. It works fantastic right there. It belongs there. It looks like it. So accidents sometimes come out perfect.
It's called a happy accident, is what it's called.
Okay.
What
That's
Brian,
Bob
I
Ross.
don't know if you're aware of what Brian is talking about, but I'll show you real quick.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
The roof of the office sits right under the roof of the longest building, and I overshot the spray on there. And so my story is that because it sits under the other roof, all the rain was dripping down onto this roof and rusting it out like it is. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Works well. Now, just looking at the time, looks like we've got about, let's say, 6 minutes of the show left before we tune out. Was there anything you wanted to say, Brian or Steve?
Yeah, Doug Dilly Doug Dilly wants to know what weathering chalks he should use. Denny?
I have not used any weathering chalks. That's airbrush. That's what I used on airbrush. But there's some really good companies out there. I keep forgetting the names, and one of these days I'm going to actually buy some just to try them out and see how they work. Now, Dave, BNSF, and Scale had given me some powders to use. So eventually I will try to use some of that on these buildings, on the actual walls of the building, like right under where the rust is on the roof. I'll put a little bit down the side of the building just to weather it up just a little bit. I don't want to go, weathering is my worst subject.
Actually, I could probably answer that a little bit better because I do some weathering, and I got one. Is this the box? Wrong box. I need the other box. I don't know. This is the right box. I'm tripping. Yeah, no. I use chalks for my weathering. I use. What have I used? I've used. Those cheap $2 watercolor paint palettes. I've used proper weathering chalks. I've used a fair bit of different powders, even some plain makeup powders early on. But what I found with the proper chalks that you can buy from some hobby shops, the one I use is made by Tamiya, I think. Japanese brand. It's kind of very, I don't want to say it's thick or oily. I want to say it's very dense. And when you put a brush on it, it doesn't look like it actually comes off, but it actually does. And if you apply like half a drop of water, you can almost use it as a water paint. So if you want to make, really fine, really pronounced rusty or dirty or oily areas, depending on the colors, you can add to it, and then it dries up very quickly, so then you can go straight back to using it as a dry powder, powdering it on. Now this is my AC12. I weathered this about 4 years ago. No clear coat, so there's no clear coat protecting this powdering, and as you can see, if the camera can focus, which it probably won't, so let me try doing this instead. Probably still not that good.
No, that looks good.
Yeah. Well, you can see, the powder has actually stuck to the plastic very well, to the wheels. A couple more other. Let's see. That's a clean consolidation. Is that a weathered one? Here you go. There's a better comparison. Let's stick that back in the box. So as you can see, that's a clean, unweathered consolidation I have. And then the one above it.
Yeah, you can definitely see a difference.
Yeah, and again,
Yeah.
that's with that Tamiya powder. No clear coat protecting that powder, and it's actually, you know, it's actually quite durable. You know, as you can see, the white here that I've put underneath the steam generator, where usually you see some calcification. You know, again, that's, you know, with a bit of water in the brush, you know, it applies on fairly thick, fairly nicely. Got a few of these. Yeah. Also, with that multitasking I was talking about, this is me currently stock taking.
What is that you're doing?
Stock taking. So I'm actually trying to take photographs and list down every detail of every piece of my collection I have.
Oh wow!
Because I have not done that in about 5-6 years, and I need to update it, especially for my insurance purposes.
Yep.
Did you
Then
buy
you have
anything
too much.
today?
Did I buy anything today?
Yesterday or today? Yeah, whatever.
No, I was very disappointed. No, because I went there thinking, yes, it's going to be secondhand stalls. For those who don't know, there's a train show happening local to where I am. For those who are in Victoria, it's a Sandown Model Train and Hobby Expo. So down at Sandown Racecourse. Anyway, I went there today. I went there an hour early before opening to be one of the first people through the door so I could hit the second-hand stalls. The only stall that I found that had second-hand stuff was probably one of the largest model train only hobby stores in Australia that was there, and they only had a milk crate full of N scale. That was it. And I can tell you, I walked in dead smack on 10 o'clock when they opened. Half an hour, I get back to their store to try and catch up with one of the guys I know that works there. And not a word of a lie, it was like a pack of seagulls fighting over the same cookie. Like, you could not get your head in there, you could not do anything. It was like, what the hell? You know, it was just one of those sights to see, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting out of here. So I ended up leaving. But I'm going to be back there, let's see, it's now Sunday. I'm going to be back there Monday. So take my boys there so they get to see all the layouts.
Oh, that's right. You're 17 hours ahead of us. That's why you said it's Sunday. I'm saying, wait a minute, it's not Sunday, it's Saturday.
Yeah. Well, it's 3. Well, it's currently just clicked over 3 a.m. Sunday morning for me. So there's my clock, and if you guys don't believe it, well, that's probably a bit.
No, I believe it. I got a lot of friends in Australia that I Skype with, and you know, I always know that they're like at least between 12 and 17 hours ahead of us.
I just subtract 7 hours and add a day, and I'm with Shannon. That's how I figure that out, and it can still get confusing. But Vinny, we got to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I learned a ton. I mean, a bunch. And I'm getting ready to do some of that work. So I appreciate you sharing what you know. It was a fantastic show, and I'm sure everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, I was glad to be a help. And also, I would like to do a little self-promotion.
Oh, please do.
In about an hour, there'll be my premiere video coming up. And then after that, I'm going to post a video on my microphone test that I did this morning.
Oh.
So hope to see you guys at my premiere video, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock Eastern time.
Vinny, tell them what's going on in that premiere. Tell them what's going on.
I don't want to give too much. Let's just say
it's super good.
Let's just say that my P-Vine sub layout is going to get a workout.
And I'm gonna tell you this: I'm gonna be in the car, and I'm gonna be driving, and I'm gonna be watching.
Don't be doing that, buddy.
Well, no. I won't text. I'll just have it playing, over in the seat. Yeah, I'm gonna watch. Don't
And it's
worry.
also, I also did. It's the first video I actually did that has a voiceover, so everything is voiceover, and I think you guys are gonna like it. And then when I was doing that video, I forgot to add something to it. So this is going to be a second video, maybe next week, of what I forgot to put in today's video.
All right, easy
Well, I'm
done.
excited about it. I think it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. I do
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Thanks, Vinny, for joining us and giving us your insights on
Thank
scratch
you.
building and kit bashing. Thanks again, Steve. You're here every week, and Brian. Thanks for being here as well. And thank you for putting together intermission videos for me to load up and get ready to go. If any of you guys have any questions or anything like that, email us. We've got a Facebook. Leave a comment, subscribe, give us a like. I don't think I'm missing anything.
Well, I got one thing to say is I hope next week when you guys do your show, you get the 50 people that you want in here so you can give away that locomotive.
Yeah, and go ahead and self-promote your channels in chat real quick if you'd like, because we're probably going to be rolling for another minute or so as we say goodbye and the credits and all that good stuff. So promote your channels now, and I appreciate everybody coming today.
Yep. And also, guys, let us
Thank
know.
you.
I'm always, as you can see, I'm always trying to change things up a little bit here and there, make the video better. So let me know how everything's been laid out, how you like it, if you want me to change anything. Because so far the only very minimal input I do get is from the guys, and we're all like-minded, so we're like, it works, it looks good.
Well, I tell you, from the first time I watched you guys till now, there's been a big improvement as far as the quality of the videos and the audio and all that stuff is a big improvement. So kudos on that.
All right, thank you for that,
Thank
Vinny.
you, Vinny. Appreciate that.
Yeah. But yeah, so apart from that, anyone want to do my stock take instead?
What is it?
Do the what?
My stock take, I've got probably 80 locos, maybe 200 pieces of rolling stock.
We're about the same, you and I.
Wow.
Yeah, I need to do a stock take, and I need to put a Dakota. I dropped that on the floor.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Nothing's
Not a good
broken.
thing.
Nothing's broken. Actually, whilst we are rolling for a few minutes, whilst everyone promotes their channels and says their goodbyes, what's everyone's opinion on that? I'm having second thoughts on it.
That looks like it's out of my times period.
I like it.
What is the time period on it?
1950s.
Yeah. See, mine is probably 80s still present.
They're still running. Where are they? They're on some, I don't know what place in the US. I forget now. I'll have to read through the information, but it's something island or something like that.
Oh, that is nice though.
Nice.
Have you run it?
Sound installed, ESU version 4. Proper file. I customized it a little bit. Yeah, and I'll put on it, I don't know, an hour of runtime.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only got an hour's of runtime on it. So, because usually what I do is whenever I buy a new loco, I get my 9-volt battery, put it to the wheels, make sure it works, unless it's brand new. I then leave it in the case, so I'll get a decoder for it, install the decoder, and then I'll run it.
I want to thank everyone for coming today and thank Vinny one more time. And I got to get out of here, y'all. I got an appointment. So
Me
thank you so much, Vinny, and thank you everybody for coming. And y'all have a great day. I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Oh, actually, I look forward to seeing y'all in almost an hour at Vinny's premiere. And then we'll see you next Saturday. Y'all have a great day.
Okay.
Thank
Take care, Brian. Take care, guys. I'm going to leave also.
All right, see you guys.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye bye.